Sales Talk, number 867. Just to make up, I don't know why. Too big of an old Star Trek fan. Stardate, whatever. Those of you that enjoy that, thank you. Those of you that don't, yeah, thanks for watching anyway. All right, I've got a couple of things to go over. This is going to be a pretty quick one, I think. I'm going to touch on a couple of important subjects. We discussed last week and a little bit the week before manipulation. More of getting people guided, leading them along, getting them there. I had an example of it this week, however, that I've got to bring up because we never talk about how people manipulate numbers. Not speaking positive, not speaking negative, just speaking the truth. I get an email from somebody who is wanting to sell me radio advertising. And it says, I just heard one of your commercials on KTST The Twister and thought I might send over some very useful information about Tyler stations in comparison. This might help in the decision-making of stations to buy for the next marketing plan. I know Bob is busy, but if you can pass this along, I'd appreciate it. Hopefully we'll find this information useful, and if he has questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much, Heather. And there's these 6 stations that are owned by Tyler Media, which is just a group that owns radio stations. So she comes around, and her big pitch is, how many commercials do you need? By the way, quick side note, we've talked to them before and laughed them out of the room. They were horrified and offended at what I pay for my radio ads with Clear Channel that I'm doing now. And when they told me what they wanted, I honestly, it wasn't being rude. It wasn't, I just laughed. I mean, it was one of those that was so shockingly funny. You regret it and wish you didn't, but you did. So we weren't even in the game. So this is what she comes at me at 7 months later. How many commercials do you need? A very good ploy of manipulation, by the way. If you have a product that is too expensive, then you show how the quality is so much better. Dishwashing soap was one of the first ones, if you can recall. Remember they came out with, what's the word, condensed, concentrated. You don't need to use a full squirt. You just need 1 drop because it's so concentrated. 1 drop does full squirt. And they know full give them well, they're still going to squirt the same amount. So they make more money selling you the smaller bottle for slightly less than the price of the bigger one. You get the same result, but psychologically you feel better over the concentrated. So we're going to concentrate. How many do you need? Many stations can reach the same number of people, but how many commercials are needed to do it? By the way, not terrible concept to keep in mind when you're selling. If you ran 10 commercials on KOMA 92.5, which is one of their stations, you would need to run 33 commercials on the Twister, one of them we're on, to reach the same number of adults 35 plus. For one station to reach approximately 40, so there you go. Their pitch is, we can reach the exact same number of people on 10 ads that it takes 33 to reach on the station you're on. In essence, meaning if we're 3 times higher, we're still superior. You will get a 10% bump if we were 3 times higher. So obviously our station makes more sense. And even though those other guys are all selling you quantity versus quality, we're pitching quality, blah, 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 blah. All that well and good. So to try to make note and help us follow, because this stuff does matter. Also, if you learn the principle of this, I'm hoping you can use it yourself to your benefit. They're saying we get 10 for X, and the other needs 33 to equal X. So if this one is $5 and this one's 15, this is the better value. I would argue, for just talking advertising, for a quick side note, that it's not true because frequency is a huge issue. However, even I would admit that if this one is 5 and this one's 10, that now this is a better value because your frequency ratio starts to come in line. So all that comes in, as long as we're just double because of that, assuming the numbers work, and she does include a secondary page. It's all the Arbitron stuff to prove that it's an independent study and these numbers are real, yada, 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 done by the book and everything. So you look at that and you're like, okay, what I have to hang my hat on, the Arbitron numbers, an independent study review audit, says it's true, it's true. This is a better way to go. Next time around, I should sign up with KOMA versus a Twister. Very good play of manipulation, very good play of what have I got to win with. Conversely, if you were looking at this same thing and it was how many commercials do you need, and you were the lower one, you would totally be rating how frequency matters and all that kind of stuff. So you would play the number that plays to your strength. Great wisdom. Don't play to the sales skill that does not play to your strength. Play to your strength. Let the other guy do his work. You do yours. Don't sell what's not your strong part. Sell your strong part. Even if your industry dictates that, your personality might play differently. You have to sell your strength. And that is the way to go at everything. And your strength would be the thing that actually matters. Your strength, your skill, what you bring to the table is the only one that's really an issue. It's just playing it and putting it out accordingly and going with. Here's where the manipulation truly came into play and what I love. They're dealing with adults. 35 plus. And according to their graph, they are dominant. This is them, and this one way down here, that big change in the graph, is the station that I go with. So they are dominantly better in 35 plus. Man, that's the station you want to be in, ain't it? Here's what they don't tell you. How plus is plus? I've been around here a long time. I know these stations. I know who listens, and I know the numbers and how it works. If the station I was on came and gave me numbers, you know what numbers they would focus on that would completely reverse this demographic? They would not do 35 plus. They would do age 30 to 45. And they would dominate the KOMA station. Because 30 to 45, they have 20 times the listeners of KOMA. 55 to dead listen to KOMA. There are so many old people, so few stations they listen to. The vast majority of them do listen to this station because it is oldies, 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 30s, 40s, 50s, teeny bit of 60s music. That this isn't a lie. They're right. If what you want to reach is 35 plus, the value's there. Who's my 35 plus? She didn't mislead me. She didn't lie to me. She didn't do anything else. I'd like to hire her as a salesperson. This lady knows how to focus on her strength and put it forth out there and show the value as relates to what somebody else is doing in order to get their business. Brilliantly handled, brilliant manipulation of numbers and word phrases to guide me to where she needed me to be. She wasn't doing it of evil. She wasn't trying to sell me garbage. She wasn't going to go home and cry at night because I didn't get quality. I would have gotten quality. I would have still been successful. And I'm sure that whether we stay or don't is the extent to which she would serve the account after and the quality she would continue to provide. There's nothing wrong with this. This was genius. This was advertising one-on-one at its absolute finest. This was sales and marketing at its brilliantly done. 2 lessons to learn. 1, imitate it. 2, how to avoid it being done to you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but know all the numbers. Know the guide, know the judgment, know when it's being played so you do make the right decision. Doesn't mean hers is the wrong decision, but make sure you know all the facts first. All right, that was part 1 of what we're going over today. Matter of fact, you know what? That was enough. We'll save the next one for next time. I went longer than I thought I would. I actually kind of like the spit, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thank you guys. Have a great day.